Howdy, y'all. It's Michelle from Born Without Boundaries. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for clicking on. Probably pulled up in your feed, right? And you're just like, oh, let me give this weird-looking chick a try. Well, thank you. From this weird-looking chick, I appreciate you giving me a try. This is my channel, Born Without Boundaries. I do daily readings. I do zodiac sign week aheads every week, the 12 zodiac signs. I do a weekend romance, which with a deeper dive. I have Vimeo videos available. There's lots of content being produced, but most exciting thing that happens here is the lives. Won't be happening this week because I just got out of surgery, but normally I like to go live like 5 times a week. So if you ring that bell and subscribe, you'll know exactly when I go live and you'll be able to participate in that. And I do, free 1-question readings, and we have great conversations, and the audiences have been growing, and I've been so grateful. Thank you to all my new subscribers. We have reached 10,000. We've reached 10,000. I'm over the moon and around the stars and back. So thank you for that support of the channel. I know the Scorpio tribe has really been pulling, and it's you guys. I so appreciate the vibes and the positivity that you're constantly sending out. Thank you to everybody who watches the videos and who has subscribed to the channel. I really do read comments. I try to read every single comment. I have left some comments behind this week because I've been sleeping and recovering. But like I said, when I started this channel, it was to talk to you guys and to hear your stories and share stories. And I gotta say, I do try to read every single one of those comments. So please do keep interacting, because the interaction is what I'm living. It's what I live for. It's what the purpose of this interaction is for. Today is a beautiful day, Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everybody. This is your daily reading for Wednesday. So the energy that comes out in this reading is basically to get through the day. To get through the day. I use a Talisman and Cauldron tarot deck for these readings. Talisman and Cauldron is a spirituality store in Derby, Connecticut. And my friend Laura and her partner China developed this deck. She owns the Talisman and Cauldron, and Laura owns Talisman and Cauldron, and her partner China developed this deck. It's a very expressive little deck, I have to say. It has its own voice, and I noticed that early on when I started to use it. It's just got a unique and very quirky way of expressing itself, and so I really do love it, and I read it with it every day. I'll include. I promised in the comments below that I would include a link to be able to purchase this deck if you're interested, and I will include that below in the description box. I also do personal readings. Right now, I'm only offering recorded readings. I am getting stuff done, guys. Trust me. I'm splitting the deck and shuffling as I spew. Trying to do 2 things at once. Let's see if that works. But I apologize. There will be a lot of swallowing because of my surgery. There will be a lot of swallowing that's going on during this reading, and my voice is still a little bit rusty. You could hear it, right? All right, but also what I'll do is 3:23. Let's do it. Let's mark it. I'm going to mark when the reading began, because some people really do like to skip, and they don't want to hear the introduction. So I'll timestamp that. All right, guys. Let's see what the daily vibe is today for. I was going to say June. I just don't like. Yeah, for me this summer, I don't know where this summer has gone. It's been a rough one. Tomorrow is the full moon. It is that time for release. It is a time to let go. It is a time to look at a bigger picture, but not get tripped up by the details below. Remember that. Remember that, because I feel like the details are what's really tripping up a lot of people this week, causing a lot of frustration. Let's just say that. I hopefully no tower moments are happening, but yesterday was kind of a crazy day. The energy was a little bit odd, to say the least. Let's see what cards come out. Okay, a bunch of them. I love how this deck talks. I just do. All right, let's see. All right. Sort of forward motion, progress in communications. Okay, maybe you just started interviewing or talking to somebody again. Happiness, abundance, and prosperity. There's lots of cups. There's A Descent of Cups here. This is interesting. A Descent of Cups. There's sort of an unraveling. Oh, I see what's happening. Oh, shoot. Oh, we got divine counterparts too. All right. Okay, today is a day when it's like we've been pulled back to a very simple place. Like today is that place of love and comfort. Like this is the central card, right? When we felt good, when we felt youthful. I told you when we went back to Leo season, we were going to have this experience of having a love, finding a love. But let me say this very clearly, guys. When I say love, I'm talking about big love. I'm not necessarily talking about romantic love. I do specific romantic readings. I'm talking about love, like that love of life, that connection to everything around you, like you had when you were a child, before you got interrupted, before you got jaded, before you got disappointed and disheartened and started to see the world through that barricade of defensiveness that we start to develop as adults. It's natural. I'm saying today is the day we start to revert back to that innocence, that abundance, that feeling of everything is going to be okay, and I am loved, and I am cared for, and expressions of love that demonstrate that to us and show us and make us feel comfortable and make us feel accepted and make us feel safe. Today, if I have to say anything, is that day of safety. When you feel safe enough to not only accept all the things that have happened in the past and everything that you've been through, but also today is that day when you find the energy and the affirmation to move forward. When you realize that your strengths and your battle scars and all the things that you've been through are no longer barricades keeping you away from the world, but scars that have woven into your skin and now have made you almost made of a different metal, like woven into you, almost like Wolverine's adamantium skeleton. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a part of you now. It's no longer separate. It's no longer barricading you from the world. It's who you are. It's how you see things. This came through very, very prominently in the Piscean reading yesterday. And I feel like this is the general vibe today of us accepting. This is a time in our life when we accept it's time for us to move on. It's time for us to get going. It's time for us to walk away from all the things and out of the fog that confused us, all the things that distracted us, maybe all the medications that we helped to placate our fears and our hurts and our pain. It's over with. It's almost like, in a lot of ways, this is a very Phoenix moment for us. This is a moment of rebirth today, right before the full moon. Isn't that ironic? It is letting go of the lower self and saying hello to the higher self, higher purpose, bigger understanding of our place in the world and how we're connected to it, a bigger understanding that things aren't just about us. You know, it's like that level up from immature to mature. I had my favorite college professor. His name was Bill O'Connell. He's just an awesome teacher, and he said that the moment maturity happens is when you realize you're no longer the center of the universe. And I think that is what the Aquarian full moon is pulling us. It's challenging us to understand that it's not just about us. We are. And I always, listen, I am the preacher of individual power, of individual responsibility, of affirming yourself and loving yourself. Why? So that you can be a positive instrument in the orchestra that is this life. You know, when you playing out of tune, you throw off the person next to you. You throw off the person to your left, your right, forward, back. You bring the whole vibe into sort of disharmony because you didn't tune your, as Cat Williams would say, your star player. You're not in tune with your star player. You have to get in tune with your star player. You have to tune up your star player. Because of this bigger responsibility that we have. You can go back and look. 2 months ago, I was talking about this was a new life cycle starting for a lot of us. We had a tower moment, a huge explosion. It was a life-changing moment in our lives. And it was because the universe was no longer allowing us or coddling us and allowing us to basically be a chink in the works. We are a cog in a huge clock, and we absolutely have to turn for the larger clock to work. It is essential. And us trying to constantly go backwards or trying to constantly stay in one place and not fulfill our purpose and work up to our fine tuning was throwing a chink in the chain. And so the universe threw something in there to force us to start moving forward. It was not going to allow us to turn back anymore. And it wasn't going to allow us to stay stuck. It was going to push us forward. But this is what I'm talking about. Being the strongest version of who you are so you can continue to participate in the larger picture of what is supposed to be going on and supposed to happen. Now, the Aquarius full moon and Jupiter, heading back into, and Jupiter illuminating once again direct in Sagittarius, all of it is saying, look at the big picture, people. This is the moment. Our summer was supposed to be for us to fine tune our star player, right? To heal up those old wounds, to let go of the past, to say goodbye to things that we held on to for too long, even if they were nice things, even if they were good things. There was a lot of, and my sincere condolences to everybody who experienced it, there was a lot of deaths this summer. There was. It was happening all over the place because there were life cycles closing out. There were things that we had to move on from. There were things that we could not in any way, shape, or form carry into the future with us. Even if they were good things, even if they were loving things. Maybe we had leaned on them for too long, right? It was time for us to let go of what they were giving us, and only their physical exit could remind us of their spiritual purpose, which was to illuminate us and teach us and prepare us for our greater good, our work, our purpose in this larger love, this larger field of life, not just what we want. Now, when you step your toe onto the path that is assigned to you by spirit, fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter to me what you call it. We can call it half a dozen different things and be talking about the same thing. Words are just words, and they can be very, very powerful with application and focus. But it doesn't mean like you can't cast the same spell using a different words. You can. So understand that whatever you feel like calling it, as soon as you step the toe onto that path, and first of all, there's no turning back because you don't really want to. And that's the truth. Even if you're scared to admit that you don't want to, you don't want it. You don't want the past. We're future reaching creatures, right? But also, as long as you step the toe on the path, it like set off a chain reaction. And every step that you take, no matter how slow you're moving, is a contribution to that cog moving in the right direction. So understand, for me, I cannot express this to you enough. Your 3D and this world abundance is coming into you. Your wishes are being fulfilled. And how did they get fulfilled? By walking away from your old life and those things that used to just keep you muted and confused. By healing those wounds of the past. And by closing those doors and literally starting up something completely and totally new. Like your own institution, who you are. Jumping right from what you were as a child to now a full, completed version of who you are. You are better for your scars. You are stronger for your burdens. And you are awarded for your faith. At the end of today, you will see counterparts are coming into union. This is the Queen and King of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But it's the mentality of two people, male, female, 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 male, male, gender inspecific, doesn't matter. Two of us, creatures that call ourselves humans, that are vibing so freaking high. This is the King and Queen, people. okay? This isn't a page. These are the mature versions of these elements, of the water element. What is water? Water is our existence on earth, right? That's why I say water is that element that flows between the ether and the 3D. Your abundance is flowing to you. It's being conducted to you. Water is what grants you that. Water is emotion. It's love. I have heard so many different, I'll try to attach the card what is it, 1532. 1532. I'm just taking out all these times because I like to give you guys different videos to watch and stuff so that you can understand what I'm talking about and really, maybe it'll broaden your mind, make you happy. I love watching these videos. But it was a Native American woman who was talking about how water has emotion, right? How water is alive. So we're talking about, at an esoteric perspective, just philosophically speaking, to celebrate Father Jupiter and his return into his home sign and his going direct again. Like this philosophical understanding of the bigger picture of what water is. It is what connects us all. Hands down, scientists used to think it was sunlight that every living creature on this planet depended on. Nope. It's water, babies. It's water. That's what it is. It's water. It's 100% water. Because it's part of who we are. So when I say abundance is being manifested in the 3D, it is. And how is it being manifested? Through that peace, love, and that faith that is that ever-flowing water that comes from the ether into the 3D. It is by connecting yourself into that larger picture and making it important to you and understanding how important it is to be a part and participate as a part of that bigger picture and tell that tale and share those stories and connect deeper and more fluently with people and trust more and have more faith and be more secure because of it, okay? I love the King of Cups. I love him because to me, he is emotional maturity. He is that, he's not giving his shit away. He's not flowing it all over, throwing it all over. And he's the full moon. His cup is full. His cup is full because he knows how to respect himself. He knows how to protect himself. He gives people the side eye. Like, why would a king be that insecure? He's not. He's not. The King of Cups can feel your ass before you even walk into the fucking room. He don't even need to look at you. The fact that he's even acknowledging you is acknowledging your 3D existence. He can connect with you way before you even walked into the room. Anybody who's a water sign knows this ability. Right? The King of Cups is that mature state of water signage. It's a mature state of water to be self-contained, self-controlled, self-aware. Self-aware. It is very, very hard for water signs to be very self-aware because we are so aware of everyone else. We lose ourselves in the process. So this is a state of ultimate maturity of self-awareness. Self-awareness, self-responsibility, self-containment, emotional maturity. And through all of this, connectivity. Connectivity, this is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is that feminine energy that reaches out. She is that feminine energy that does nurture, that offers. Why? Because she has something to offer. She has a full stream of abundance. Her cup never is empty. Why? Because she reached the state of emotional maturity. She knows how to set her boundaries. She knows how to keep her waters clean. She knows how to offer herself without giving herself away. This represents for all of us, not just water signs, an emotional maturity. You go from what you were as a child, which ironically is, were we more emotionally mature when we were children before we became jaded, before we became hurt, before we suffered, right? But also we're linear creatures, so we have to learn those lessons. And if we can't stay children forever, We can't. No, it's not even meant to be. It's like I said, we have to step that toe on that journey. And for many of us, our bigger personal journey started a few months ago, or maybe a year or so ago, or, whenever it started. But I'm talking about the journey of life, that bigger picture, like I said, in celebration of the Aquarius mentality and the full moon, that larger, broader mindset of this is life. I have to keep moving forward. I have to keep stepping forward. I can't stay as a kid or stay locked in reminiscence in my past, because that's not the way that I was assigned to move. Listen, the fact that you are here listening to me on YouTube means that you are in a 3D body. There are laws of physics for a reason. Why? Because it's the rules of the school, bitches. They're put there so you learn how to follow them. Why? Because they're part of the lesson. And I know many of you would try to skip class. We even admire things like superheroes or, Harry Potter. Like, come on, those are my things. I love them. Because they seem to defy these laws. You were put here to learn how to live your best life within these laws, because learning these lessons was essential for your development. You try to skip the class, you fail and you stay stuck. There's no skipping this class. You needed to learn these lessons. You can't stay as a child forever. It's not meant to be. Nothing gold can stay. Not in the 3D. And so now, today, we're reminded before the full moon, where we celebrate our purpose in the higher picture. Right? Is how do we not trip over our feet while we're focused on the higher picture? Because we needed to do the work to be self-aware. Because the two really don't run separately, do they? That's what the water reminds us. Water is a constant reminder that the spirit world and the 3D world are not really separate worlds. That's just the level of perception. But we do have an obligation to them both. We do have an obligation to balancing our higher self with our earthly self. We have an obligation to balance our earthly self for our higher purpose. It's like we can't just forget. Like, that's why I don't like some certain religious teachings that are like, just focus on spirit and existence, your soul's existence. No, because we're not just souls. We're here for a reason. We're meant to interact here in this 3D world. What, just about skipping class? No. We're here for a reason. And we're here to honor our bodies, our earth, our planet. We're here to honor all of those things. Because just like, give an apple to the teacher, babies. Give an apple to the teacher. You're here to appreciate and respect all these beautiful things and what they're teaching you, and to hear their voice and to learn their tune and to learn how to get yourself in harmony with it. Just heard that song, I've Been Standing at the Edge of the Water, from Moana, for as long as I can remember, never really knowing why. But inside you do, right? It was a really well done movie. I love that movie, Moana. It was just a really well done message. Whatever Disney's purpose is, whatever. It was a great story that really reminded me of having faith in something that doesn't make sense. And learning that point, that toggle point of it not making sense, but it's still feeling right, is that line between the 3D world and the spirit world. And when we reach that line is when we actually touch that veil that runs between those two worlds. And we know that we're stepping in as a conduit between the two. And as a 3D person, we may never be able to make sense of that feeling, But it's also absolutely ridiculous to ignore that feeling or dismiss it, because it is very real and we've all felt it. And if we've all feeling it, you're telling me it's not real? Of course it's real. It's there. It's there every single day. And this is that time when we reach that emotional maturity where we can accept it. We can accept that discomfort is actually our extra senses sensing and comprehending something it can't really understand. Understand 3D understand. And so how do we understand something that is not comprehensible to our 3D selves? That's called faith. That's called faith. We understand in those little parts of us that almost feel like they're a little numb. They're not fully touching it. Those parts of ourselves that don't make sense. Those parts of ourselves that aren't able to absorb touch, taste, smell, sight, scent. What was it? Touch, taste, smell, sight, sound. Feeling. Not just touch, but feeling is that sixth sense that receives vibrations. Which is why music is such a powerful thing. I talk about music all the time. You know, music we don't only hear it. Remember, hearing is the 3D interpretation of vibration. Because our brain is processing everything to 3D interpret it for us. That's what our brain is. It's our 3D interpretation computer. It interprets all of these vibrations into how we interact with them on the 3D plane. But what is sound? It's a vibration. What is light? They're vibrations. What is sight? It's vibrations. They're all freaking vibrations, people. They're all vibrations. And our brain is that beautiful processing unit that interprets them and puts it all into all those categories so that we interpret it as what we're interacting with in the 3D, right? And that's why our laws of physics, right, in this 3D world that we live in is what it is. They are what they are. And our brain is programmed for those laws and to interpret all those vibrations in ways that they make sense within those laws. That's just one experience. That's just one experience. And that's first of all, it's our singular experience, and then it's multiplied by like almost 9 billion because we're all experiencing simultaneous experiences. So there is a larger experience going on even in the 3D world. And then it's where those vibrations come from before they're interpreted by our minds that are programmed with these at the base of their programming. If you think of it as a computer program, the base of their programming is these 3D laws. These laws of physics that we adhere to here. That's a set of laws. Every country has a set of laws. There's nothing outside of it. There must be something outside of it because all of those sensory vibrations are coming from somewhere. And that's that veil. That's that. How do we interpret that when we don't have a brain for it? But we do have energy for it. We are still part of energy. And that's in the 3D language, that's what we call faith. And that's what we do. It's what we call faith. It's how we interact with things that we cannot perceive fully, a full 3D perception. And that, when you can do that, when you're capable of that, is when you've reached emotional maturity. Because you know that you've balanced out the importance of your part in the process with the humility of how small you are to the overall process. You've balanced it out. And today is the day that we celebrate that balancing. Today is the day that we celebrate our walk in faith. Today is the day that we celebrate where we've come from and who it's turned us into, and the fact that yes, we really are ready. I am here. the bravest statement you can make. I am here. I am here. I am here. As for the rest of today, guys, you can expect from me Taurus coming out, Gemini and Cancer by the end of the day. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. My gratitude is I just, it's made my day. It's helped me heal, and it's really, helped me fall in love with you guys. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow because I'll have finished all the zodiac signs and I'll have some free time. So look for me tomorrow. I'm going to try. That's my goal. And I to celebrate the full moon, I love full moons. I've always wanted to go to one of those full moon parties in the Caribbean. I've always wanted to go. I'm not there right now. So maybe we can have our own little full moon party. Woo, woo. That'd be so cool. Well, see, I gotta say, in terms of timeline, there's 2 full moons here. There's the full moon where you walked your ass away. I feel like that was last month. And now there's a full moon where your cup is full. And you're ready to let go, as in let yourself go into this bigger place. Like let your waters flow into the larger waters and be a part of the bigger picture. And this is really sitting in your abundance and maturity, this full moon. It's coming. Also, divine counterparts coming into union. They're not waiting for each other anymore. I told you it was popping off as of August 15th. Shit was going big. And in terms of our 3D worlds, they just got real, real beautiful. Talk to you soon.